This is Rems Gems Podcast, Episode 3, and the contest begins. All right, we have made it. NFL season is upon us. How you guys feeling? Are you ready? Are you been counting down the days?
I'm very happy. I can hear the happiness in your voice, so I think that makes us all ready to go here for NFL.
Yeah.
Let's do it, baby!
Yeah, I feel like an 8-year-old on Christmas Eve. You know, I'm counting down the hours until kickoff. And full transparency, we are filming this one a little bit early, but for the purpose of the podcast, that's not an issue as the spreads are locked. So we're ready. We have our picks locked in, barring, any unforeseen injuries or anything like that. You shouldn't see too much changes in the lines that we have, as these things have been out for months now. So
Why are we doing this early?
because I will be in Las Vegas for the Thursday night kickoff, the first game. So going down there to check out some wedding stuff and, might enter in some of those contests. The Circa or Westgate, they have a massive layover, as we've discussed. And I think that was the point of kind of doing this podcast, was we're going to track these contest picks. And we've done so well the last 2 seasons. We were in second place for $200,000 entering the final week. Not to pour salt in the wound, but just want to emphasize that point that
I thought it was $500,000 that we were tied with, and we were tied for second with someone else. So it was $500,000.
yes.
But it was $250,000.
You're right.
Yeah.
So we were tied with 3 or 4 people, and so it took the second, third, fourth place prize pool and split it amongst all of them. So $200,000 was pretty cool to see next to your name for a short bit, but it was short lived.
It was the Bug Man, right?
Yeah.
The Bug
Man
Man
won.
Yeah.
And this year, it's not going to be $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm. So the previous contest for DraftKings was $1,500 buy-in. This year it is $250 buy-in, which is one of the reasons we're all doing our own team. Going to make it more fun on this podcast. When we see, Kyle's Gems 10-0 through 2 weeks, and then we got Need for Read over there 3-7 chasing up the rear. So
No, I'm hungry this year. I'm hungry this year.
So yeah, let's get into the contest. That's why we're here, right? We're dialed in. I am so confident. First things first, between all of us that's doing a contest, whoever gets first place, free buy-in next year. Should go without saying, right?
Well, you have your brother Todd, who usually does outstanding in this.
He is a pretty good picker.
He's been what?
Yeah.
He's been double digits for 3 years in a row. So it's hard to argue.
I will tip the cap to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your mother, sweet Lorraine. I mean, nothing wrong.
Yeah, we need an ESPN 30 for 30 on her picks. Insane. Only watches football with us. I mean, Red Zone, she attains knowledge just by watching, but really doesn't do a whole lot of research, and she just lights it up every week. It's remarkable.
She goes with the quarterback. That's her philosophy.
Yeah.
I've gotten it out of her.
Mm-hmm.
So we will comment to the we're used to making one pick, as we've all done it within a team, just so everyone knows now we're going to be all taking our own. So the whole world has changed, essentially.
Yeah, this is uncharted territory for us, but I feel great because there's so many times where you're like, oh, I would have taken that team, and well, now you have that opportunity. There's no excuses.
But it's going to be verified too, so people can see, like, oh, the old man.
Yeah.
He's on a roll. we gotta follow that fat guy's picks,
Man.
And I think you guys are going to be.
I hope that is the case. I hope all of us do well. I think that would make this just
right. I just
awesome.
want to do a little weller.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I'll take second place if it means you get first, but I feel confident. So yeah, 5 picks, as you mentioned. We'll all be making our own 5, and that's the rules of the contest. You have to take 1 week off. So whenever it is, this contest started for DraftKings when COVID was around, and we really used that to our advantage, tracking all the COVID across the league and all of that. And it was actually a useful tool that we waited until a big outbreak. All these teams were shorthanded, and we're like, let's take this week off. I don't feel great about that.
How are we going to? Are we going to take different weeks off, or are we all going to take the same week off?
It's a good question. I think it's probably up for interpretation. Do the
Typically,
contest.
we look at Thanksgiving, which is kind of tough. Less games. Usually, we try to aim towards that.
Yeah, because that's a good point. They allow the Thursday game, and we're going to go into the contest right now. The rules, the strategy. This is a strategy piece. Thursday games are unpredictable, as unpredictable as you can get. And we used to do them every single week.
And lose.
Every single
Be
week.
0-1 going
Yeah.
in. And that's a depressing Friday and Saturday. There was a lot of alcohol had.
Yeah, you gotta cope somehow, and that was the only way. That was so tough losing a Thursday game. But then again, when you win,
right?
you feel great.
On top of the world.
You just got to go 2-2. And so I'll let you speak to the strategy. What do you need to do to cash in these contests?
This is what's been happening. If you go 4-1, 7 weeks, and you go 3-2 the rest of the contest, you will win.
You'll get first.
You'll get first.
Yep. Outside of a,
it doesn't sound hard.
Yeah, every blind squirrel finds a nut.
Yeah.
That you're going to have someone that just has an outrageous season.
Yeah.
That is a ridiculous season. That's like 70-something% what you
Right.
just said. I've always been of the mindset 60%. That's the goal.
Right.
And that would be 3-2 every week. 60% should get you a cash. And then you're just waiting to find a week where you go 5-0, 4-1. Those are always big, just 3-2 every single week. That's how I enter it.
0-5, that's just the worst week ever.
Yeah, 0-5. Well, that means you got to make up 4-1 3 separate times to get back on that 3-2 cadence.
We've done that.
It's wild.
We've done it.
Yeah. Even if you follow up an 0-5 week with a 5-0 week, you're still only at 2.5 wins, 50%. Like you go 0-5, that's a tough time to wake up for work Monday morning.
What I do too, I want to suggest this to the people. With your 5 picks, if you throw in a $20 parlay with the book,
Yep.
that's a nice hit. That pays for your.
Yeah,
you
it
hit it
pays.
once, and you paid for your.
You buy in. It's
Yeah.
20-1. So
Right.
20-1 for that. It's worth it. And with 17 weeks, you just got to hit it once. So if
Right.
you think you're going to have multiple 5-0 weeks, then hey, you're going to make some pretty coin on top of whatever you cash for. So
Yeah, I always put all my eggs in one basket, so I'll do the first player touchdown from all 5 teams that I like, round robin money line, because usually I'm taking underdogs.
first half.
And then DraftKings actual players, that $20 one to win $1 million. So those are usually how my Sundays go.
Yeah, it's a sweat at our house. And I just threw up on TikTok under the Rems Gems podcast tag the compilation video that Shelby made last year of us sweating games, and it's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that
it's-
was
yeah,
hilarious.
it's us like jumping around on like big plays and like just laying on the ground with covers over us. You get the mood of a Sunday during the witching hour.
Hands all red from high fives
Yeah.
at like 4 o'clock. Trying to
Yeah.
get those 4 o'clock or 1 o'clock games to go final, and then being like, okay, I'll bet these 4 o'clock games, I guess.
You're like racing to get paid out.
Yeah.
Where wins become losses and losses become wins. That time from 3:30 to 4 o'clock, there's nothing more stressful in life than that half-hour period of backdoor covers, and I just can't wait.
It's a good rush.
Just talking about it is getting me excited. So let's talk about week 1. I think first thing, let's talk about where we were week 1 last year. I think that's a pretty good story. I'll be keeping the tradition alive. You two will not. Sorry to rub it in, but you want to talk about your experience last year and where you were?
I have a little. This ties into the week 1 podcast because you were asking me about my worst beats, and I went sideways with that. But this was my worst beats were the first 2 days there. We're flying down to Vegas. We're all jacked up, and I'm gonna bet a dime on Iowa. I love Iowa.
For recreational bettors, dime is
Right, $1,000.
Yep,
and that's
big
a big
bets.
bet. That's a big bet. It's
No
a big
question.
bet. That's
Yeah.
I use we usually don't play in that market, but I'm going.
Ready to
It's my
go.
first ready to go.
Vegas.
So I'm on a 6-hour plane ride, and I'm watching game day. Everyone is on Iowa State. Everyone. I mean, there's not a person in the world that's saying Iowa. So I'm like, geez, maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am. So I put the grand on Iowa State, and
Blowout.
Iowa spanks them.
We're at the Circa watching
Right.
from our hotel
Oh, yeah.
that overlooks the pool.
Oh,
It's
my
the
gosh.
best setup. and that was
Circa was unbelievable.
But that was a tough game to watch.
So
Never
that's
had a chance.
Right. So that's my first, welcome to Vegas. All right, I'm down a grand. Well, tomorrow's Sunday. I love the Patriots Sunday. So I'm going to put another dime on the Patriots. They're playing the Dolphins. I was all over Mac Jones last year, and the Dolphins are going to lose every game. We're in the D, I believe it was. We were in the D. It's Sunday afternoon, and I was next to this knucklehead, and he was.
I had too many beverages.
He had,
Vegas got him.
yeah.
Yeah.
He hung for 10, 12 hours, but then he turned into a limp biscuit. Remember? And it was. He's like, we got this. And Mom's on a heater at the craps table. Do you remember that?
Unlike anything ever.
It was, she didn't even know what she was doing.
Throwing dice off the table, and they're just throwing chips to her.
Right.
It was remarkable.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get that grand back. The guy's going in to score. He fumbles at the 3-yard line with what? Whatever it was.
Yeah,
it was
minute left.
It was
devastating.
So now I'm down 2 G's. I'm like, boy, this trip sucks.
I'm never coming back. I can't afford these tickets to the Raiders game.
And that's what we ended up doing. We went to the first Raiders game
at Allegiant Stadium.
And we have Raiders.
That's why you're wearing it.
I wore this to the game.
Yeah. Yeah, because we couldn't wear our Patriots stuff, even though they were playing Baltimore.
Yeah.
But I mean, and to give people a little perspective, that was an awesome first game. But I was playing catch up. So it's like, all right, so I got to bet $1,000 on Oakland. I got to bet $1,000 on the over. Not Oakland, Vegas. $1,000 on the over just to get even. And we did some parlays and everything. With 6 minutes left in the game, it was what? We needed like 3 scores and a field goal?
Yeah.
To just get the over, never mind the Raiders. And lo and behold, it happened. It was crazy. Oh, we having technical difficulties?
Yeah, I think I can go ahead and talk about the game.
Yeah. Oh, you're back on?
Yeah.
There. Yeah, I'm back now.
Yeah.
That was insane.
And they got it in overtime.
Yeah.
So I got it all, we got it all back, but it was a stressful.
Yeah, we all were sweating that game, and that was
my God.
we're just bashing Derek Carr the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah, we were all
And that was the
riled
night
up.
you took what he was Sunday. You were like that.
Yeah, Frank the Tank.
Frank the
That's
Tank,
what they call me.
yeah.
That's my alter ego. And
We do you remember we got before the game? We got there a little early because we wanted to see Allegiant Stadium and this and that. But I forget his first name, but was it linebacker Bowser?
yeah, Bowser. Yeah.
Bowser. So we were on. It was me, Kyle, and my mother. We were all there on his Snapchat story. You walked out for the first time.
We all were greeting them and talking some trash, trying to get in their head. Any competitive advantage you can do to get your bet some leverage, we were doing it.
Yeah, I will say that Justin Tucker was the biggest boss on that team for sure.
He's a goat for sure.
And Ryan was walking by, the fat one, and you were like,
Yeah,
you look
Bob
like
Ryan.
my dad.
You guys look alike, man. I will go down. You guys look a lot alike.
And to give people a little, the stadium's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's super loud. It gives Seattle a run for its money for loudest stadiums. But we were way up. 'Cause, it was hard to get tickets. We were happy to be in the thing. I felt like I was climbing Mount Everest to get up there. It was the beer vendor came up once and he's like, "You're not going to see me again."
Yeah.
When I got to the seat, I was like,
Yeah.
the guy behind me's like, "Hey, you all right, mister?"
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute,
Yeah, I remember you were when you got up there finally.
Yeah.
You were like, "I am not moving for 4 hours."
Well, that was a long day too. That was a Vegas day. We were at the strip at what 9 or 10 o'clock.
Well, yeah.
So.
We went down, me, Kyle, and our friend Chris, and we were watching Ice Cube perform
That's right.
at
Burns
halftime.
was there.
Yeah.
Burns was with us. That's right.
We Ice Cube performed. That
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah,
They do it right. There's
phenomenal.
no question. They'll have an NBA team there soon enough. They see how these
of course
other
they will.
these other leagues they're on their way. So
And I like them this year. I think they're going to be very competitive.
Well,
I think McDaniels is going to do a heck of a job.
I love Josh McDaniels. Indifferent about the overall, such a tough division, but we won't get into that too much because I think Reed's hoping that they stutter week 1 out of the gate.
I'm just saying, it's a long season.
Yep. All right, so let's get in. Are we ready? Let's talk about week 1 in general, week 1 trends. This week, 10 of the 16 games feature home dogs. So you know that if your favorite's better, they're not winning all those. Survivor contests, everything. It's going to be an interesting week 1. And as we know about every NFL season, as we start a new season, we don't know anything. You think you know everything, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
And that's what the first couple weeks, it's why they're so important, because going to continue to gather information. So 10 of the 16 games, week 1 dogs, home dogs last year, 53% against the spread, home dogs. Not bad. Not
I thought
bad.
it'd be higher.
Yeah.
Seems kind of low.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep. I have a couple. I have a couple on my slate.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I'm usually a lot of people in these contests too, they take all the favorites, and that's like a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
You know, I mean, half usually. Well, how
Yeah.
many games are there usually
What do you mean?
on a slate?
16?
Like on an average week, is it 16 before the buys?
Yeah, and once buys occur,
Right,
yeah,
and
14
usually
or so,
it's
yeah.
8 and 8 when
Yeah.
you look at it, like 8 favorites cover and 8 dogs cover.
Yeah.
When it all shakes out, I mean, you'll have 1 or 2 weeks a year where the favorites kill it, and that's where you see all the articles written about the casinos taking a hit, but
Yeah.
they make their money the other 16 weeks.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
So
Yep.
buyer beware on that.
For sure. And I think that's another good point is in these contest consensus picks, they come out once the spreads lock Sunday morning at kickoff, and they
Right.
say how many percentage of the pool took how many teams. And
Exactly.
a lot of it is major line moves. And
Yeah.
you'll see one of my picks, it's locked in here at a certain number on Wednesday, and then it doesn't matter what happens in the actual betting market. You are locked in at that number. So an example is if a team is a 3-point favorite and then Aaron Rodgers gets ruled out and now they become a 3-point dog, well, you still have them in the pool as a 3-point favorite, so you'd probably want to go against them.
Right.
But the other side of the coin is if you're trailing in this contest and you're struggling and you need to make up some ground, you might avoid that game and hope everyone in the contest takes a loss. So there's a lot of strategy to it, and I think that's what makes this contest so fun.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, well, I'm just commenting on that. Yeah, we, in my opinion, this is my favorite thing to do, this pool. Like,
Yeah.
maybe that may sound sad, but
No,
it is. I love stuff like this. It's a great time.
Yeah, we've been getting invites to fantasy leagues and stuff like that, and I'm like, no, I'm in this pool. I'm good. I have my vented interest every single week through this.
I do throw in a team for DraftKings, the $1 million. I always put a team in that for my fantasy purposes. And
I agree, but to Reed's point earlier, I always do my team of the teams that I took in this pool.
Exactly.
So
Which makes it even funner.
it's correlated.
If
yeah.
it's a win, it's a big win. If it's a
Right.
loss, it's a big loss.
Right,
That's the way I roll.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that note, let's kick it off. Week 1 picks. Tom, Dad, you have the floor.
Well, thank you. I like going first because I think he's saying I'm going to finish first. So I
Take it as you will.
I applaud that
Take
move.
it as you will.
My first pick is Tampa Bay. They're all these the DraftKings too. It always ends. They always put a half point on, so there's no ties.
Yep.
That's something we have to.
Yep. So I have
tell
all the
people.
locked in spreads. So your Tampa Bay one, they're favored by 1.5.
Correct.
Yep.
And they're playing the Cowboys. And on that one, I'm Tom Brady's. I've cashed a lot of tickets with Tom Brady. You know, I love the guy. You know, his performance. Yeah, right. So it's like, okay, Cowboys just lost their starting left tackle. I just think he can beat that number. I'm loving that pick.
That's
So
some
there's
deep
one win.
analysis right there.
Wow.
Well, you did
Yeah, I
go.
love the guy.
la-
No, but hey, that's why I took him.
You
He's
went
won me a
against-
lot of money.
Yeah.
How do you not take him?
I agree with that. I've definitely made my fair share of money off of him, but you did go against the Cowboys last week on the season win total, so we know that you don't like the Cowboys. So,
Right.
They
it
played
explains.
week 1 last year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Tampa Bay won by 2.
Yep.
Cowboys were winning the whole time, and
Yeah.
then
Yep.
Tom came back and they tied the spread. I think.
Another
Yeah.
matchup who played last year that you talked about earlier, you also have that game.
Right. And this number, I'm on the wrong side of this number. I have Miami Dolphins on this one. And it's the wrong side of the number. But I think Miami is just so athletic. They're so fast. And I just think their secondary, the Patriots secondary, just won't be able to cover them. I'll say this. I see a double-digit win
Okay.
for Miami. That's where I'm going.
They're favored by 3.5.
I'm saying they're going to win by 10.
Okay, that's
where I'm rolling.
spicy take,
Isn't it?
Spicy take.
So next week you'll be saying, wow.
Yeah.
All right, next pick. This is a team on the upswing. This kid had a horrible first season. He had Urban Meyer as coach. Urban, who knows what he was doing, but he certainly wasn't coaching. But it seems like they have all their ducks in a row now. And 3.5, and I think Washington's in disarray. I'm not a fan of their quarterback at all. What's his name? The kid from Philly. He was on the Colts Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz. He's shown me nothing. Mm-hmm. He's one step better than Geno Smith in my book.
He's good for a late game collapse. That's what he's good for.
But he's good for throwing the deep ball and getting the pass interference call, I will say.
Elite at that.
I've seen it.
Like Joe Flacco used to be.
Yeah.
Million times.
Don't.
Yeah, but I'm not. I think Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's on the come this year. So getting 3.5. We'll see. This next one, I'm going against. I'm taking the Houston Texans, getting 8.5. I think their quarterback's very underrated too. The kid from Stanford, Davis Mills. 6'6". He's very underrated. No one talks about him, and he can put up some numbers. Colts are good. I like Matty Ice over there, but I just think first game out of the blocks that 8.5 might be little too much for, none of these people played in the preseason, so a little rust. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm going this one. And my last one is the Vikings at home, being a home dog, getting 1.5 against Aaron Rodgers. I think Minnesota's another team that is going to be. I could see them winning that division this year, and I think this game goes a long way to establishing their season. That coach, he's another one of those young coaches that I like. And last year, Aaron Rodgers, who'd he lose to? Was it Carolina first week last year? He threw he was horrible last year, week 1.
It was the Saints because Jameis Winston threw for like 1 million touchdowns. Remember?
Right, and they were, and he was rusty as anything. He hasn't played all preseason. He doesn't have Devontae Adams anymore. He's got these new young receivers. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take a shot on the Vikings. So.
Support that. I support that one. Couple notes that I have on your picks. Jacksonville, year one quarterbacks I saw, and you touched on it with Urban Meyer, horrible. Year one quarterbacks go a full game on average under their season win total. Year two quarterbacks go a full game over their season win total. They make the huge jump in year two. And
right.
I think it's self-explanatory why. You go from college, slow play of game, to the NFL where it's fast-paced and all the new different things that you get thrown at. So I think Jacksonville will be better this season. And week 1, 3.5 is a good number.
To that point, I think that rule is going to have an exception with Mac White. And I love Mac White, but I just think with no offense, Matt Patricia as offensive coordinator,
You say Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, I'm sorry. Mac White, yeah.
Mac White.
I'm sorry.
What's going on?
Sorry.
Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that I'm afraid of that Patriots game, and I'm going to be staying away. I'll root for you to an extent. Patriots fan at heart, but there's so many unknowns about the Pats. I gotta wait to see who's even calling the plays. We don't know that yet, which it's scary, and if I had to choose, I'd go against them. So, but I'm afraid for sure.
I will say the Mac White comment really got me. Sorry, I lost it there. But did I scare you off Denver?
I think it might be an 80-20 game, and you did a little. You did, but I'm still. I still think Denver is going to be a solid pick, but you scared me off them.
Yeah, that's Denver favored by 6.5 in the pool over Seattle in Seattle. So yeah. All right. Well, your picks are in. Decent.
Next week, you people will be saying,
"Yeah,
there's the guy."
It's a 3-2, maybe backdoor lucky to hit 3-2 type of picks.
5-0.
But
5-0.
okay.
2-3. I'll bring the big dogs now.
All right.
All right, we'll get to it quick here. We'll take the Panthers -2.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on the Baker revenge tour against the Browns. I think everyone in the world hates the Browns right now. 2.5 is a good number. They're home. Christian McCaffrey's healthy. I'm sure he'll only play 2 games, so it's good to get one out of the way here. That's my thoughts there. So I like Panthers. I don't know. Win by 7 or so. I don't think that one will be a sweat. Next one, I'm with you with the Texans. I love 8.5. I think it's the biggest.
Solid pick. Solid.
Biggest dog on the board. They're home. I like the money line because I'm a sicko like that. They got Dameon Pierce. They pretty much, I think they dropped Mac, so he's Florida rookie, going to be taking all the handles. They'll give him everything he can handle. And then, I like Davis Mills too. He's got the long neck.
He does have a wicked long neck. My God, it's wild. You
got
can see over the line.
It's like 8 inches.
Just preseason, though, this year I've been watching. He's got a cannon, too. I remember last year when they were playing the Pats, they were winning the whole game.
He was always hurt at Stanford. That was the problem.
Yeah. I had the Pats against him last year. I got ridiculed for the pick, and for good reason it lost. So
I'm hoping, because I'm hearing everyone I talk to kind of likes the Texans, the Colts. Matty Ice's first game. It just seems weird. I don't know. I'm hoping that the Texans aren't like the public dog, because I would hate that, but we'll see. And then we're going, I should probably cover this logo here, but we're going to go with the Chargers -3.5 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Chargers they got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. They got all the guys. They got, who's the Patriots corner? They got J.C.
Jackson.
Yeah, J.C. Jackson. We don't even have to talk about their offense. Raiders got a lot. I mean, they got a lot of the hype this year. I know they got Devontae Adams, Derek Carr. They got all that. I think I'm saying 14-point victory for the Chargers. Looking at a blowout. AFC West champions right there. Then we'll move on to the Vikings. I saw a nice stat about them. They're at home playing Green Bay. They're the last 2 years they've split and they've won at home against Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is 7-7 against the Minnesota at Minnesota. I know that number is 50-50, but I like this Minnesota team this year too. They haven't lived up to the hype, but they got guys. I think they'll win a little 3-point victory there over Green Bay.
Tight.
I'm trying to get all these numbers right so we can come back to this.
It's a tight one.
Yeah, that one's going to be tight, I think, regardless, because even if Minnesota's up, Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. That's just naturally going to happen. And then the last one is this. We're just fading the public forever on the Seahawks. It was like the Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone there. But no, I mean, I'm going to trust Geno Smith.
Mistake number 1.
That's Stones.
I was hoping that Lutz was going to be. Have that name?
Kicking?
No.
Talking about Will Lutz?
No, quarterback. Who's the back
Denver.
up there?
Yeah, he was.
Is it Mac White?
No.
Fighting for the spot,
Will,
but yeah, it's Geno. So get used
No,
to
it's
Geno.
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock.
Yeah, but it's Geno playing.
But I'm saying I wanted Drew Lock to play.
right.
You're taking Geno. It doesn't matter what you want.
Right.
You're not Pete Carroll here.
You can't say next week, well, I wanted Drew.
I was hoping he'd join.
No.
Free picks.
So there were. Okay, that's funny. There were some funny videos of Pete Carroll. They were trying to like throw the football in practice, and he was like, "Screw it, I'm just gonna play quarterback next week."
Well,
which was funny. But I will say, I know you guys rag on those dogs, this and that. Last year there were 8 underdog money lines with spreads 2.5 or above, which was pretty crazy. I remember being at the Circa, a couple beverages, but
Do you?
yes. And there were a lot of. I mean, Pittsburgh against Buffalo last year. I mean, I can remember a handful off the top of my head.
So you're saying 8 underdog money lines came through last year? Yeah, that would be
Week
a
1.
nice hit.
Yep.
It's a nice hit.
If you parlayed all those, oh my
That's
God,
insane. But you got to pick the right ones.
you're not
But
working
yeah.
for a while.
No, that's quitting the job type of money.
So what do you? How you feel? You can hate on them. I'm fine with it.
Seattle is the toughest game, and I think my biggest issue with Seattle, I like the sneaky home dog factor. I like it's going to be an 80-20 game. For me, that's a game that I will bet when the spread moves to 9 because I think it's going to move that way.
Moving.
And it's like, so I am going to avoid it for the contest, but I will bet it because I think that everyone and their mother's going to be on Denver.
What about the elephant in the room? Russ going home.
I would. And who does that? I always think of this question. Who does that favor more? The quarterback playing his old team or the team playing his old quarterback?
I think it favors the team.
Who gets up more for that?
I
got
just
the
think
12th
Seattle's
man.
defense is no good.
That's a loud stadium.
How is the fans going to react? Like Brady coming back to
Right.
Gillette, it was
Right.
like, oh, he got some boos, he got cheers.
Right.
Like, how is Seattle going to react to that?
They're going to be looking saying, Russ
That's what
Wilson.
we had.
We got Gino.
Patriots covered that game though, right against Tampa Bay.
Wild.
Right, and that Brady was too
Almost won.
overhyped. Yeah, no, yeah, that could happen. He could be too jacked up, but I don't see it. I look for Russ to cook.
Okay. Well, decent. Let me look. What else? So, yeah, I'll get into mine now because I have a couple similar ones. I don't have any going against you guys, which this will probably be the only week. I'm actually very surprised. There's no contradicting picks. You on one side, me on the other.
Right.
Where there was no discussion about these games before, and there won't be moving forward.
Yeah.
Where we
just
go
make
against
it,
each
yeah.
other. It's me versus the world type of attitude in this contest.
Father versus sons.
I feel like Darth Vader type of situation going on. First pick, I have Carolina Panthers at home against the Browns for all of the same reasons that you said. Baker playing against his old team, very similar situation. Love McCaffrey. He's going to be back. I don't trust Jacoby Brissett. I think Carolina will win that one pretty handily. Baker's a guy that when he gets fired up, like I get fired up. He just has that appeal to him that like maybe
Heart. He's got a little
he
heart.
does have heart, and I love that. So I am riding with him. Pick 1, Carolina Panthers. Number 2, joining both of you. This is the only pick all three of us will have. Minnesota Vikings against Green Bay. On again, all the reasons you said. He's lost Devontae Adams. Rodgers now going to try to work with these young guys, all the rookies, and I like him. Christian Watson out of North Dakota State, I love him as a receiver, but it's a big ask. Joining the league, and then you're the go-to guy. Too much. Divisional game. It's going to be rocking in Minnesota. Give me the Vikings, Purple People Eaters. 2-0 on my 2 picks so far.
I like the Minnesota wide receiver to have a great
Yeah, Jefferson.
year, too.
Yeah, he's a
gonna,
stud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Number 3, here we go. Now we're getting down to it. Pittsburgh Steelers catching 6.5 against Cincinnati. Another divisional game. 6.5 is a lot of points in that game. I personally think Cincinnati is still overhyped. I might be the only one who thinks that. They have to prove it to me because they made that run to the Super Bowl, and that was impressive, don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of bad losses last year, and I think that it's a lot of recency bias with that team. And Pittsburgh's defense is beastly. And believe it or not, I trust Trubisky. I don't have a major...
Is he quarterbacking?
Well, as of this recording, that's the most information I can go off of. I think he is. I would be very surprised if they go with the rookie. And if they go with the rookie, then good God, I am in trouble. But I don't think they can.
It's got to be Trubisky.
Yeah, and that defense, it's just too many points. So I'm taking Pittsburgh. They'll keep it close. They might not win. I'll have the money line, but they might not win. 1 possession loss. Again, another 1 possession loss. Jets, Jets.
You kidding me?
Catching 7.5
Come on.
at home against the Ravens.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a stony.
It's stony baloney.
Makes his Seattle pick look good.
No, Joe Flacco. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Joe Flacco.
He's elite.
Elite.
End the conversation. He's elite, and he'll prove it. I think they're going to keep it close. They will keep it close. It's going to be, the game is in New York on 9/11. They've all been like preaching that the stadium is going to be, we'll probably hear it from here in New England how loud that stadium is. Every year the Jets have a clean slate, and the fans are like hopelessly optimistic, but they're optimistic. Like they get up for those games.
Hey.
The season, they'll be fired up.
Hey, little sidebar. Remember when we went to that game? We went to the butt fumble game.
Yes, yeah, I do.
The family.
Yeah.
We went with the Cupid.
Yeah.
Happy 70th birthday to Steve Cupid.
Yeah,
too.
shout out. Hope he listens.
Going to his party.
Yeah.
But we went with another family, good friends of ours, and we had to leave the game. Remember the fans were like, "Oh, Brady sucks." Who was Sanchez?
It was Sanchez.
You were getting into a big fight with guys.
I was 19 years old, and they were.
Rather have Sanchez.
Had the fake. I was all over there.
Yeah, so
that was a wild time.
At MetLife, they had the escalators, and they would be holding Patriots fans. The Jets fans would hold Patriots fans over the escalator.
Yeah, it was crazy. Remember when we were walking out, beer bottles were getting thrown at people.
They almost hit our mom.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we were like, hey,
we're in a war zone.
Can we get out of here?
They say Buffalo's bad.
Yeah, that was tough. But I do recall that game, and I recall the score being like 40-7 at half.
Right.
And this time it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be New York up 40-7. They will keep it close. I envision a Justin Tucker 54-yard field goal to just crush the Jets' dreams already in week 1. So I'm taking the 7.5. The current number is 7. I'm getting some CLV, some closing line value as of now. I think the Jets will keep it close, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm taking them.
There will be a drug test after this show.
Mm-hmm. I'm in. Final pick, Chiefs. I go from the worst team to the best team.
Yeah.
The Chiefs giving 3.5 at Arizona against the Cardinals. I heard a rumor Call of Duty has double XP weekend coming up, and so Kyler Murray is going to be in front of his PC all week preparing for that. He's not focused on the game. He's playing his video games, and so I am taking the Chiefs regardless. I think that Arizona's overrated. They started last season 7-0, and everyone's like, they're the favorites. Kyler's a god. And then what happened? They finished winning 4 of their final 10 games. They lost to the Seahawks, the Panthers, the Lions. Again, another team that this number 3.5 is just way too low. I understand that Tyreek Hill's gone for the Chiefs, but they have a guy named Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He's still pretty good. So I feel confident with that at 3.5, and I saw before recording this, it's up to 4.5. Probably will be near 5 or 6 come game time.
Yeah, Kelsey's not too bad either.
Yeah, he's decent.
Juju will be doing TikTok dances.
See, they're loaded. They're just loaded.
I'm not a
game.
fan of Arizona either. I think Arizona's.
I share that. I will say, back to our conversation earlier, I probably have the number 1 most consensus pick in Kansas City. I bet you they'll be the number 1 taken.
Denver.
Denver, maybe. It depends. Yeah, depends where the
Perfect.
lines close. And I also have the bottom with the Jets, because I bet you no one takes the Jets but me. And, you got to be different if you want to win this thing. You're not going to win this thing by following the pack. You got to lead the pack. That's what I'm doing with the Jets.
That number's juicy, though. 7.5.
Jets go down, score an opening touchdown on the first drive of the season. The place is insane. I'm up 14.5. That's a heaven 110 on Sunday.
The other QB's playing for a contract.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little sick and tired of people
Lamar.
saying he's not an MVP candidate.
I saw Lamar live with you guys.
Yeah. And he was impressive.
He was impressive, but who won the game? He struggled the second half. So
They weren't playing the Jets.
I know that it takes some cojones. I got him. I'm not afraid.
I know you do. I gave him to you.
All right. Lastly, so we have all 5 of our picks.
Yep.
We'll put up the visual so that you can see, and this is the start of it all. So we'll be tracking. Do you guys have any Survivor picks? If you were to take, I don't know if you plan on doing it.
I'm going to join a Survivor.
I'm going to do the
pool,
DraftKings one. I think this is probably a good time because there's really no massive favorites, and you guys already took the Texans, so I can't imagine you want to go with the Colts now. But is there any game that you're eyeing if you are or plan on doing a Survivor?
Denver.
I'm going against Reed. Okay.
Mine would be Chargers.
Chargers?
Yeah, I mean, I
Wow.
like taking in Survivors like that because you eliminate yourself from taking that. If you take the Colts against the Texans, you're taking that with 70% of the pool.
Yeah.
You get the Texans to win that game, which I think they will. All of a sudden, you're down to the straight and narrows. Not a lot of people left.
I think it was 2 years ago. I had Colts week 1, and they played Jacksonville, and Jacksonville won.
Divisional game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, division. Yeah.
For me, I have a similar approach as Reed. I think this week is very fishy. I'm gonna try to avoid, those, your Denver, and I think I'm gonna avoid the other 8.5 number Colts. But I'm gonna aim at the 49ers for the reason that I'm never gonna take them again, and they're playing the Bears. That I do not trust Trey Lance, but Survivor, you gotta look ahead, and I'm never taking San Fran again unless they play the Bears, and so happens to be this week. So
that's tough though. Like, the Survivors are tough in general.
Yeah.
Of course, the Raiders can beat the Chargers. I think the Bears can beat the 49ers at home for sure. Like, it's tough. A lot of people will probably say Ravens against the Jets.
100%. Yeah,
the Survivor's tough this year. I think I know it's always like this, but I think we have a better understanding of, like, look at last year, 8 teams week 1. Yeah. Moneyline dogs won. Mm-hmm. It's tough. Let me ask you, though, not related to that, what do you think about the first game, that Thursday night game?
Yeah. Bills 2.5 against the Rams. Bills are the favorites to win the Super Bowl for a good reason. Josh Allen, he's...
Oh, they don't have any holes.
No. He's...
Well, no, I don't want to say it too soon.
Yeah. That said, it's in L.A., place gonna be rocking with the Super Bowl rings and all that. But again, Thursday games, I don't want to touch them with a 10-foot pole, but I would probably lean Bills in that one.
I would go Rams. Do you want to talk about the DraftKings?
Yeah, another promotion for those who have DraftKings. They do these weird promotions where they like to give out free money. Basically, I think it's attracting new bettors and stuff, but we always take advantage of them. And they have one this week that up to a $250 bet, so decent amount of money. If either team gets a 7-point lead, you win your bet.
Right.
Free money.
You know that's going to happen.
But so if you take the Bills and they go up 7-0 and then they lose, you still won your bet.
Yeah.
If you take the Rams, you go, So we talked about potentially just each of us doing one other side. If both teams get a 7-point lead at any time, we win our bet. I think those are some opportunities that, if you guys listening, we'll keep giving you those little tidbits.
You're welcome.
Yeah, opportunities to make money, but it's a good one.
Gems.
Yeah, we did it with the Celtics Warriors playoff game. If either team got a double-digit lead, and in that game that they offered that promotion, both teams got a double-digit lead, so whoever bet the game won your bet, and that was a good day. That was a good day. Back when the Celtics were in winning NBA Finals games, and life was good.
Malcolm Brogdon, going to lead us to the promised land.
I'm optimistic. So yeah, that's it. Any other final takeaways that you'd like to share before?
No, Texans money line.
Okay.
I see a loss with the Jets. I see a loss with Seattle. I see 5-0 for me.
Okay, I'm gonna.
We do have one pick that we all like, the Vikings.
Yeah.
So
it's a big game.
Yeah.
That's one that coming in. That'll be the first game we talk about when we come in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No matter what happens.
Can't believe Aaron Rodgers threw 6 touchdowns.
Yeah. That is how it goes. But all right, follow our picks. Looking forward
Have
to
fun
next
in
week.
Vegas.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got this. Play some Pie Gal, please, for me.
For sure. And if I don't make it back, I give Shelby permission to make my picks the rest of the year. So let the record show.
Record will show it.
All right. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for listening.